Grand risings, brothers and sisters. Grand risings to you and wonderful day this Sunday, the 11/27/2022 day of Sunday. This is from the desk of the emissary. This is the Black News Network, the real voice of Black U.S.A, bringing you the news from a state, local, and federal level. I do not own the rights to the music, but I do own the rights to what I'm about to discuss with you. Please give me your undivided attention on Facebook, the Black News Network, on YouTube, the Black News Network, on Twitter, Instagram, and all these other social media sites that you can find out there that may host our special today. We broadcast on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. and again on every single Sunday at 3:30. My purpose here is to enlighten you on the news that you watch every day on channel 4, 5, 12, 11, 13, CNN, CNBC, Fox News, and any other station that you may be watching. Those people report the news, but a lot of times they don't relate the news to what we need to know as Black people or as African Americans for that matter. You can see I have trouble pronouncing those words, especially when I know they're not what we really are. You know, one of these things that we have to learn is that our true heritage has been hidden from America for the last 400 years. And if we don't stop and take time to understand where we came from, then we will never move forward to get where we need to go. So my question to you is, how serious are you about learning your heritage? How serious are you about knowing where you came from? And how serious are you about understanding how you fit in to the American diaspora? My name is Ward Smith, aka Razim Jabir Ali. We will be working on that, so let's keep it moving. The U.S. Moroccan strategy was held by Hillary Clinton. She addressed the Moroccan treaty that was signed in the 1700s, and she talked about how the United States are obligated to honor that treaty. And when you talk about that treaty, it basically states, in a nutshell, is that the United States has an obligation to honor any Moroccan native citizen that has declared their nationality here in the United States of America. And if you declare yourself as a Native American, then that means your status now changed from a United States shadow citizen to a United States diplomat. Now, people wonder, well, do I have diplomatic immunity, and do I have this, and do I have that by becoming a diplomat? No, you do not. It does not give you the authority to break the law. It does not give you the authority to run a stop sign and not get a ticket. It gives you the authority to be recognized as a nation and not as a child. Because if you look around the world today, the United States is the only country housing people like me that do not have a nationality. And as long as we are not declared under one nationality, we are not going to be as powerful as we could possibly be. Now, there's so much our people can do. There's so much force that we have that we can operate under. But we're not going to operate on anything until we decide that this is our culture, these are our people, and they owe us this money. Reparations, that is. Now, let me ask you a question. If I promise to pay you for doing a service at my house or anywhere in my business, and then you did that service, whether I authorized the contract or not, you finally done the service. Do I have an obligation to pay you? You got the results. You became multi-millionaires and billionaires based on the work that I've done for you. So now the question is, are you going to pay me? They brought us here to farm the cotton, to farm the rice and soybeans and any other plantation type operations that exist in this country today. We came here for that purpose. And now we performed that purpose. We made multi-billionaires from our labor. Now it is basically a give and take operation. We've done what we said we were going to do. Now why don't you give us our money? But you can find money anywhere you want to in America. The government can, that is, because they got $90 billion they can shoot over to Ukraine. They got all this money that they can send out anytime there's a national disaster. But when it comes time to taking care of its own, null and void. We don't hear a damn squeak. We don't hear shit. They do not intend to pay us what they owe us. And they will not pay us what they owe us because we are not a nation. And because we are not sensitive enough to what's required in this country to get our money. Now, we sit around and talk about the politicians in power right now saying, I ain't gonna vote, because I ain't gonna vote because these motherfuckers, they ain't do nothing for me no way. So why should I vote? That is the problem. You think you're supposed to get something without voting? You think you're gonna have representation without voting? That's exactly where they want you to be. In that complacent mindset, telling you that you do not want to vote. And because you don't vote, we end up with yahoos and assholes like the one we got right now that don't represent a damn thing about what our people are interested in. Now, you might think we don't have any power because we don't vote, but that's a damn lie too. The American Black African-American population contributes more than, almost I'd say nearly $2 trillion a year to the economy. Some people say it is upwards of $10 trillion a year. So think about it. $1 trillion is not like 100,000. It's not like 100 million. It's not like 100 billion. Well, it is 100 billion. $100 billion is $1 trillion. So that's a lot of damn money. A lot of damn money. That's less than a half of a 1% of the population here in America. You only hear about 4 or 5 people in the $1 trillion mark here in this country. In order for us to get our money, we ought to come together and claim it. Otherwise, we are not going to get it under no circumstances because we are not together. We're not a nationality. We don't have a footprint in America. And rumor has it, a tree without roots will not grow, and it will not flourish, and it cannot bear fruit. That's where we are, American Black people. We have a reason to unite, to come together, to do the things that we supposed to do to make us a nation. And the only people that are making a nation for us right now are the Moors. If you are not classifying yourself as a Moor, then you are not part of a nation. You can be a Chinese, you can be a Japanese, but when somebody come to you and say, oh, they're Japanese, they're not looking at you as a black person being Japanese. They're not looking at you as a white person being Japanese. They're looking at the Japanese as being Japanese. They're not looking at China as Chinese. They're not looking at Turkish people as Turkish people, as if you're white or black, or if you're black in any of these other societies. They're only looking at the native people that they know, that they wrote the history for, as being the people of that society. Now, everybody that I know of, and if you know somebody different, type it into the comments. I'll see your comments. I want to know, why do you think that we are not worthy of having our own nation? We have a worth here, $1 trillion worth in America. And then we take the shit that these billion-dollar companies issue out to us as if we ain't got no damn choice. All we need to do is take one day in America, one freaking day, and don't go to Walmart. Take one day and don't go to Walmart as a people, as black people. Take one day and don't go to H-E-B. Take one day and don't go to the Foot Locker. Take one day and don't buy no damn Nike sneakers. Take one day and don't support the Adidas. Take one day and don't watch the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I saw a picture the other day with Jerry Jones in it. Jerry Jones was there doing the Little Rock 9 protest, standing on the steps protesting against the 9 black children going to that school or integrating that white public school. Now, your money as taxpayers have already paid for the damn school, but yet, because we are not pulling together, they still stand in between us and what's ours. Because it's ours just like it's theirs. Why is it so hard for us to understand that we are entitled, we are owners of everything in this country just like anybody else? But when we do not do the political parts that we need to do to make ourselves known in this country as an entity that fights for what we believe in, then we will never, ever get what's due. If we don't vote, forget about getting our representation. We don't get representation, forget about getting your agenda put on front line, and up front and in person. Because nobody is there to represent you because you chose not to vote them in. You chose to vote people sitting on the fence. You chose to vote people in that tell you if you're not black or you're not African American or you're not a Moor. You put these people in office and then you expect them to do something for you. And then when they don't, you run around here with your lip dragging the ground like you got a damn problem. Your problem is vote the right people in the office. Look at Jackson, Mississippi. Deion Sanders went down there and took on Jackson State University, and now he has a 0-10 record, a 10-0 record with the Jackson State Tigers football team. Now he's getting offers from all over the country for him to come do their program, and they're gonna pay him the money. But yet Jackson, Mississippi pastors and politicians ain't got enough freaking respect and sense to go up there and stand behind that man and make sure that they get the damn water situation fixed, and make sure the governor ain't taking all the police out of Jackson, Mississippi and putting them on the Capitol Police Force. We don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, but that's what's happening there right now. Deion Sanders is going to leave, and he's going to leave because black people in Mississippi right now do not want to give him the credit that he is due. They want to act like they're doing something that makes a difference there in Mississippi. And if they were, some shit would have been changed by now. But ain't shit changed. It's still the same bullshit that it was 50 years ago going on down there. There's no reason why the entire United States Capitol don't have good running water. You ain't heard shit about Flint, but Flint's still going through the same rusty pipe shit. They still got to boil water in Flint, Michigan. They still got to boil water in Jackson, Mississippi. But yet the governor ain't going to give them shit, and he ain't going to give it to him because Chokwe called him out on his support of the Capitol. Jackson is a black to the bone capital country, a capital city. Don't let me start acting like Herschel Walker over here. Can't do that. All I'm saying is, in order for Jackson, Mississippi to get his head out of his ass, these black people gonna stop trying to take credit for shit that they didn't do. They ain't did shit with Jackson State. They ain't made them a winning team. Deion Sanders did that. Not the damn preachers and all these other damn people that's been lying to our folks all along. I bet you every preacher you saw today got on a $700 pair of shoes, a $1,500 suit, a $4,000 bracelet or ring, and he up there in the pulpit hooping and hollering for you to put your money in a bin. How many collections did they take up today? You know, don't get me twisted. I believe that there is a God, and I believe in God. But I do not believe in some of the bullshit that these damn asshole preachers have been pushing down your throat for hundreds of years. That's the reason we're in this condition we're in right now, because of what these damn preachers have put us in, or because of the condition they have put us in. And they have put us in a condition for failure. They have kept us as passive freaking sheep for years. Oh, I'm going to be all right when I get to heaven. But if you're so interested in getting to heaven, kill your damn self and go on. Go on. Get on up there. But right now, ain't nobody willing to give up their life to go to heaven. But yet you go to church every Sunday, and that's what you're thinking about. Wishing that when that day comes, when you die, you're going to sing to heaven like some fucking fairy tale. Grow up, my people. Let me get off of that, because I do get emotional when I talk about people being led around like sheep. And that's exactly what I see. Suicide is on the up here in America. Attacks are on the up here in America. People are shooting up places left and right. Let's start with the last one that I know of, and that's the Walmart shooting, where a black guy who was the manager there, had been with Walmart for over 10 years, went in there and shot 6 people dead. I think 1 died in the hospital, but 6 people dead, then shot himself with a gun he bought the same damn day. You know, you cannot control the movement of guns in this country. You can forget about that. That is not where the control needs to be. The control needs to be in people screwing over other people. And that is where people have the problem. If you go screw over me and screw over me and screw over me and take advantage of me and take advantage of me and take advantage of me and beat me and beat me and beat me, and then you expect me to come to work with a smile on my face, you can kiss my ass. I ain't doing it. And I don't blame, I ain't gonna say I don't blame, but people get pissed off and they get tired of shit happening all the time to them. They're always victims. And they're gonna be victims because you're making them victims, because you're not respecting people for who they are. I don't give a damn what they are. They can be gay, they can be bi, they can be whatever the case. They can be tall, they can be short. They can be fat, they can be skinny, they can be light-skinned, dark-skinned. It don't damn matter. And what matters is what's here. You give that person the respect that they deserve. They respecting you, you need to respect them. They come to work to earn a decent living for their family, give them the money that they deserve, pay them the right way, and quit bullshitting people. You know, I look at the bar industry, and I see how the bar industry pay people, and they don't pay people right. They expect a bartender to come in there and make $2.35 an hour and live off their tips. And you wonder why they stealing your ass blind. Wonder why they taking your shit, because you don't want to pay them. A bartender should not be making less than the minimum wage, just like any damn body else. But you think that Congress gonna do something about it? You think that one of these politicians gonna do something about it? Hell to the no. They don't give a shit about doing something for you. And they're not gonna do for you because you are not doing for yourself. And the one thing that you can do for yourself is, I've said it and say it again every few minutes. Vote. Go out and vote when the time comes. And if you're not registered to vote, register yourself way ahead of the time. Because the only time you're going to see these white politicians that you elected into these offices is when it's time for them to get reelected. And the ones that really want to do something for you, they're working their ass off to try and do something for you, and you're ignoring them. And they're not getting in the office because they know you're not going to vote. I bet you Herschel Walker wins. Herschel Walker going to win the Senate seat in Georgia. And he's going to win the Senate seat in Georgia because people are not voting. You better get out there and vote unless you want some dick, dumb-ass head like this boy up there in Washington, D.C., screwing it up worse than what it is. But you're going to have him there, and he's going to be there because you are not going to get off your ass and go vote to keep him from getting there. I'm talking to the people in Georgia. Herschel Walker is going to be the worst thing ever happening to our government, besides Clarence. Two boot-licking ass Sambos, if I ever knew him. I ain't never seen somebody be so gullible as this Herschel Walker guy. You know, he was a great football player, like Barack Obama said, but he'll be a sorry-ass politician. If you own a Ford truck that was made between 2020 and 2023, I suggest you check the recall roster because there's a big recall going on for these Ford trucks. So see if your truck is involved. You're watching the Black News Network, the real voice of Black City, USA, bringing you the news from a local, state, and federal perspective. We ask you to join us on Sunday at 2:30 and 3:30 p.m. Central Time, and again on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time for a primitive broadcast of what we'll be talking about. Again, I am the emissary of messages for my people. I'm not here for claim or fame or to get anybody on my side. All I want you to do is listen to what I say because I believe in the information I'm passing on to you. Have you ever heard of the Monster Cracker? The Monster Cracker, no, don't get it twisted. It ain't what you think. It's a Monster Cracker. Breaking down all these things that are in place to keep us from being where we should be. We're in a position right now in America where we are doing rock bottom politics. This is the rock bottom political system of the world right now. Everybody on the planet today know that America is going tits up. In other words, the hog on its back dying because we are not doing what's right by the people. We're doing what's right for our pockets. We're lining our pockets. We have Kyrie Irving and what's the other boy named Kanye West, all getting blasphemed for saying something about the Jews. But anytime you say something about the Jews, you're going to get your ass spanked because they put the Jews in such high veneration, way up here, untouchables. You can't say, well, the Jews suck. But the thing is, they are not the Jews. They're not the Hebrews. They are not the Hebrews. They are fighting so hard to keep you as a black person not knowing your heritage, where they have taken a white race and made that race the filament of what you are. They have made this white race, so-called Jews, the filament of what you really are. You are the original Jews of the world, black people. You're the Hebrews. Look at it. Do your research. And everybody is up in a roar about Hebrews to Negroes. You know, Kyrie Irving watched the movie and came out and said something about it, and they went buck wild on his ass. It's almost like he called a damn white man a cracker or something. Why they did him like that, it don't make no sense, because he's just telling the truth. He found himself and he found his history, and all he did was take his history and push it forward to somebody he knew, and now he's a criminal. He is a criminal. Why is it that we have to treat that man that bad just because he said something negative about the Jews? We are the Jews. How are you going to say something negative about himself? And if you haven't taken the time to watch Hebrews to Negroes, then you're missing out on a wealth of information, because it's not a movie per se that you want to go watch. What Hebrews to Negroes is about is the history and the lineage of you, the black person. It's about your history. And I watched it. And it's a 2.5 hour documentary. It's not a movie, it's a documentary. And in order for you to understand how they came up with what they came up with, and in the Hebrews to Negroes, it walks you through the thing. A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z. Everything that they say in that documentary has been vouched for by scholars in this country, in the world, and vouched for by books and passages that they researched in the Dead Sea Scrolls, that they researched in the Holy Bible that you look at on Sundays. They've researched it, and it's full of scripture telling you who the Hebrews are. It tells you who the Hebrews are. So I don't understand why, when you go to church on Sunday, that our pastors are not going above and above to make sure you understand that this doctrine right here in front of me that I'm preaching to you from is about you, the black man, the black woman, the black child, the tribes, the 12 tribes of Judah. It's about us. Our people started every single nation and country on this planet. But yet, if you let them tell a history, we don't damn exist. We didn't do shit. But we were not one to want to run for the glory and the documentation. We wrote it first, so that makes it real. But that's what they do. They run and run and run to be the first one to write shit down, be the first one to get a pattern on shit you done invented. And then they put that shit out there like it's theirs. Aunt Jemima was the one who made them damn pancakes. Kentucky Fried Chicken didn't come from that Kentucky man in all white. It came from that black woman that was in that chicken in the kitchen cooking that chicken for them. And he decided we need to sell this shit. It's so damn good. And that's why he's getting paid now, because he took that shit. Why do you think they took Aunt Jemima off the pancake box? Because she and her family and her descendants were not receiving the revenues from all the money that the Pillsbury Company made. That family should never have to hit a lick of the snake. None of their descendants and nobody ever affiliated with that family should ever have to hit a lick of the snake. Because that money that made them rich and wealthy should be going to that family. Some of the 12 tribes, Australia, that's a tribe. India, another tribe. The Southern Alps, that's a tribe. Britain, that's a tribe. North America is a tribe. Gambia is a tribe. And you want to know who the lost tribe of Israel is? Try looking up the pygmies. The pygmies. That's who the lost tribe of Judah is. A lie cannot live forever, you know. You can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, you can do all this stuff, but it will not live forever. Sooner or later, the truth will come out. And it may not come out in my generation, or it may not even come out in yours. But eventually, the truth about this lying-ass country will come out because America done lied to the world. America got the world thinking we are the greatest nation because we are the only people that drop an atomic bomb on another country and kill 1 million people at one time. 1 million people at one time. That's why we fight so hard that no other country can get nuclear weapons, because we know how bad they are. And then you got Biden and his staff got the audacity to come out and say it's been a blessing. We don't want to prosecute the prince over there in Saudi Arabia, being that he done did the shit that he done did. He killed this reporter and cut him up, but yet we don't want to prosecute him because he's a prince. See, it's all about that dollar bill, and when that's where that term comes, money is the root of all evil, because this country is built on profit, nothing else. Ain't a damn thing charitable about the United States. This is a for-profit business, and if it ain't about no money, it ain't about shit here. You gotta have money to survive in this country, or you're gonna be homeless. You're gonna be foodless, and you're gonna be helpless, because you're not gonna be able to afford the health care. You're not gonna be able to afford a property. You're not gonna be able to have any resources, because that's one of the first things people want to do is assess your wealth when they meet you here in this country. You know, the movie Birth of a Nation was such an atrocity for our people. You know, Birth of a Nation was basically the birth of the Ku Klux Klan again. But the thing is, we're coming out with a version of the Birth of a Nation, but we're calling it the Rebirth of a Nation, the rebirth of America, because we are changing the patterns of what they think it should be. You know, what they have thought, what they have taught, and what they have made us to believe is bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And I can say that 1,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough. But you, as an individual, got to come to terms with yourself and understand that if you don't acknowledge the fact, then you're living a life of bullshit, because you don't want to believe the truth. The truth is, that shit that you've been taught in elementary school is bullshit. Because if you still run around talking about Columbus discovered America, you're crazy. If you're still running around thinking that Thanksgiving is a day that we celebrate thanks, you're crazy. It's a day that we celebrate where the Pilgrims landed here in America and stole the Indian secret, and then adopted these secrets and thrived with those secrets, at the same time killing those Indian tribes off. 100 million Indians in this country before these people came from England and landed on Plymouth Rock. Millions of horses. The Apache and the Comanche were horsemen, and they loved the horse. And the Americans came over here and started eating the damn horse. As soon as they got here, they brought disease and famine with them, and the Indians started dying off. They went from 100 million to 1 million in about 100 years. How can you destroy an entire world of people for greed? And that's basically what it is. They took it. Every single inch of this country belonged to somebody else, and they took it. They took it. They took it. They lied to the black people. If you help us defeat the South during this Civil War, if you help us defeat the British during this Revolutionary War, then we will set you free. And as soon as you win the damn war, you go back on your word. America has been full of a breach of contract every damn time. They have breached the damn contract with Black America, and we have to do something about it. What do you do now if somebody promised you something and they don't give you what the hell they supposed to give you? You go back and you get your shit. But right now, with America doing what they doing to us, we decide to just take it. We don't do shit. We got to do something. We're going to have to fight for what's ours and what they owe us. And if we don't want to do shit, they don't care, because that's exactly where they want us to be. They don't want us to do shit. But the moment you open your mouth, they try to stomp your damn head out. Put a knee on your neck. Look what they doing to Kyrie Irving the moment he said some shit. They taking away his money. Look what they doing to Kanye West the moment he said something. They taking away his money. Money is the root of this country, and it is the root of all evil. Don't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. The Walmart shooting is one incident. The 4 college student in Virginia is another incident. The black girl getting beat to death by one of her best friends in Mexico is another incident. The Uvalde shooting is another incident. That's all this year. Recently. And you think people ain't pissed off? We're pissed off, but we're taking it out on each other rather than the government, which is where the shit starts. They're the ones who are ignoring the things that are happening here with the people, and the people are the ones who suffer. If you look at the Senate right now, everybody in the damn Senate richer than a mother. They rich. Why don't we have some regular people up there in the Senate that ain't got no damn money, but they got knowledge? They got wisdom. Is that a criteria for you to be a politician now? To be a successful athlete with no brain and money? Is that the criteria now? All you got to do is run the football and be a winner, and then you can become a politician. Politician is not something you can just wake up one day and decide, I'm going to be a politician. You have to have it in here. It's empathy. It's something you feel for something else. Something you feel for another society. Something you feel for another world. Something you feel that people need. Something you go out of your way to make a difference for somebody else. But you think that's what we got in D.C. right now? We don't even have that in San Antonio. They ain't giving a shit about what's going on with certain cultures here in this city. Certain cultures don't get no damn recognition as long as they got a good damn club to go to. That's all. They make sure the police stay out of the way or stay in the damn way so you can't be successful. All these damn small businesses that we are trying to build are running around surviving on pennies, robbing Peter to pay Paul. It ain't a whole lot of money in there. And it's like being a drug dealer. If you selling damn drugs at 15 and you still selling drugs at 20 in the same fashion and mode that you've been doing, you're in the wrong damn business. Sooner or later, you gotta grow. You can't stay the one out there cutting down the damn tree. You gotta be the one sawing the tree up in the logs at one time. You cannot stay where you are your entire life. You gotta grow. And the only way you're gonna grow is you open up your mind and start accepting things that you may not or may not be the one who thought of. Somebody else got other ideas too. Listen sometime and maybe you'll come up with something and stop supporting all the bullshit out there that people are trying to tell you. You know, if you giving all your money to the church for the last 50 damn years and you going to the same damn church and ain't shit changed but the preacher, what are you doing? What are you doing? If your child that you raised and you nurtured and you still nurturing your baby like they 10 years old and they 45, then you got a damn problem. And that's what's happening here. You got to change eventually. You got to grow. And if you don't grow, you remain in that feeble state of mind where you don't believe the hype. The hype is real. You don't think? You think you go to the doctor and the doctor got your best interest in his heart? Hell to the no. He don't give a shit about you. He give a shit about that pharmaceutical company who provides him the meds to subscribe to you, because you never wonder how a doctor know all the damn meds that's available for any ailment that you may have. How the hell do they know that? Ain't no person on this planet that damn smart. But yet you allow them to pump these damn drugs down into you and you go with it. You know, at one time, I think I was a guinea pig for the damn BA. Had about 15, 20, 25 pills a day that they expected me to take. Now I'm down to 2 or 3. And I'm down to 2 or 3 because of knowledge of self. Not because I'm listening to these damn people out there telling me bullshit and I'm living it wholeheartedly and I'm going against what I know what's best for me. What's best for you is what you know is best for you. And if you ain't figured it out yet, who gives a shit about you other than yourself? Then you still in denial and you still gonna be somebody's flunky because you are not believing in yourself. Believe in yourself, people, because there's nobody else gonna believe in you like you believe in you. Nobody else will believe in you like you believe in you. Nobody. Black people try to take credit all the damn time for shit they don't do. And that's exactly what's happening again in Jackson, Mississippi. They want to take credit for Herschel Walker's success. I tell you again, the economic base of America is, of the black base, the black economic base of America is over $1.7 trillion a year. We have the power to shut down any company we choose. Any company we choose to shut down, we can shut that company down as a people. You remember when Jordache and Giorgio Buccini was saying shit like, we didn't make our clothes for black people. We stopped buying that shit. They took that shit back, didn't they? But it only took a short period of time for them to realize how much money they lost just by making a dumbass statement like that. And if they continue to make dumb statements, then black people should not continue to buy their product. How can a Nike come out and say that Kyrie Irving, we're firing his and we're canceling his contract because of what he said, and yet black people still come by and buy their shit? That's like going to a restaurant with no black employees and you going in there expecting you to get AAA service. It's like going to a Walmart with no black cashiers. It's like going to a white restaurant with all the black restaurant with all the black people in the kitchen and the Mexican people up front, like Tony G's. I'm just saying, that's what it is. It is what it is. You know, why are all the black people in the kitchen cooking and all the Mexicans out there living off the tips? Because I know damn well the waitresses and the servers are making more than the cooks. Do we think that that's the way we got to make money? Is to hide our people in the background while we put the white people up front? That way we'll get white customers. We'll get other customers from other demographics. Is that how we win here in America? Is that how we get equality here in America? By selling our soul to the devil just because we want to do something? How can the Georgia governor jump on board with Herschel Walker, but before he won his re-election against Stacey Abrams, you ain't hear a damn word about Herschel Walker from his ass? Now all of a sudden, he's all over the news talking about Herschel Walker. Because it ain't about what they do, it's about who do it. And they talk about Republican, Democrat. Republican, Democrat. That's the failure of America. The Republicans and the Democrats. The failure of America. The Republicans and the Democrats. If you look in the sky and you see a helicopter flying by, you see what we call the Chinook the Apache, the Black Hawk, the Huey. That's all the ones I remember. All those are named after American Indian tribes. The very tribes that the American military tried to kill. They tried to kill them. But yet they name all the damn helicopters after these Indians. You remember back in the 70s when Donald Trump called the death of these 5 black kids, said give them the death penalty. They were blamed for allegedly raping a white woman, which they did not do. But Donald Trump took out a full-page ad to say that this is what they did. Hang them. That's what he said. But now in 2022, fast forward, you got Donald Trump holding a dinner at Mar-a-Lago, a former president per se, with a Klans member, not David Dukes this time, but some other guy. I'll run across his name here in a minute. He had him in his house for dinner, along with Kanye West, of course. But my point is, how can a past president have dinner, a former future president running for president, have dinner with somebody that ain't even a straight up American? He's a redneck, a cracker, a dude that do not like other races. How can we allow this? Our religion was installed in us by our parents. Many of the things that our parents taught us were from the heart, and I can't do nothing but respect that. They taught us from the heart. They even taught us to hang a white Jesus up in our black household. They taught us that the white man, we get off the sidewalk when we see the white man coming our way. We were taught not to look the white man in the eye. We were taught to always say yes, sir, and no, ma'am, no. They tell us to say no, ma'am. That's what they taught us. But, today we've learned from that. We don't teach our kids the same thing. But the fact of the matter is, some of the things that we were taught out of must to survive. We had to do this, or we would not have made it to this level. Because if we didn't say yes, sir, now, sir, 3 bags full, sir, whatever you say, sir, I ain't looking at you in the eye, sir, and I definitely ain't looking no white woman in the eye, sir. If we didn't do some of those things back in the 50s and 60s, we would have been killed, and nobody would have gave a shit about it. And if you don't believe me, ask Emmett Till. Ask him. What was he killed for? By a lying-ass white woman telling her husband that this boy said something to her. Beat the boy so bad, killed him, threw him in the river. Nobody went to jail for that. Even the woman who made the lie in the first place. See how powerful somebody's lie can be? But a lie will always come to the truth. What's come out lately about this woman who lied about Emmett Till? And now the Mississippi district attorney can't find the paperwork. And then when they find the paperwork, she too old to prosecute. Put her ass under the freaking jail. Because she was wrong for doing what she did. And there's nothing we can do about it. Deuteronomy 28 is a good verse or a good chapter for you to read if you want to know about the Hebrews. Denying the big fake out. We are living in a life and a world today of fuckativity. I didn't say F-U, I said F-A, fuckativity. Fakeativity. Let me make sure I pronounce that right. We're faking the funk on every level. Think about it. When we go to church, I always start with this church thing because it's the worst thing bothering me right now. We go to church on Sunday with our best Sunday clothes on, but yet that's the most expensive thing we have in our house and the most prideful thing we have. So we wear it to impress others in the church. We deny that we are on the brink of starvation, or on the brink of being evicted, or on the brink of being bankrupt, by driving big, fancy, pretty cars, by eating at big, fancy, pretty restaurants, by being the big baller, by joining all these social societies that don't do shit for nobody but themselves. That's what we do. We fool ourselves like this is who we are and this is what we do. In America, we're watching the hate crimes rise. And we're watching these crimes rise because we're living in this fake activity. We're going to have to get real one day. We're not free. Anytime we are free, we don't have to witness a white police officer pulling up on a 7-year-old kid and shooting him dead with his gun because he had a play gun. He's out playing cowboys and Indians. We had these people killed in Colorado Springs because they thought it was a gay club, and they killed 5 people before it injured 22 others. New York is under a snow crisis. So much snow fell up there, then they had to shut the city down. We blame the wrong people in America for what we have encountered. Put the blame where it lies and don't be afraid of what comes with it. You already know nobody can handle the truth. What did he say? You can't handle the truth because the truth will set you free. And as long as you don't handle the truth about who you are and where you're from and what you did to this country or for this country, you cannot make it in this country. There have been so many white people who've come out and said how racist they were at one time. But they're not racist anymore. In the United States of America, there have been over 610 mass shootings in 2022. Double what it was in 2021. And 2023 probably going to be worse than 2022 because it ain't over. And as long as the United States of America fail to acknowledge and recognize what's being done here to its people, especially its black people, then this country is heading down a dead-end road to hell, because we have to be recognized in order for this country to become a success story again. Let's make America a success story again by acknowledging black people. If you white and you're listening to my show, acknowledge a black person. Acknowledge the wrong that you may have done to a black person. You can't go to your grave with this stuff on your mind. So confess your sin, and you will set yourself free. Because right now you're suffering. You're suffering because of what you have done to us. You're going to hell if you don't confess your sin. It's that damn simple. It is called the forever pain. The pain of the atrocities you caused. It goes nowhere until you confess your sin. Look at what you did with the syphilis stuff. How you used black people as guinea pigs. Look at what you did with smallpox. How you used blankets to contaminate the Indians. Look at what you did with the thousands of Indian children that you took from their reservations in their camps with their parents and try to assimilate them into the American way. And then you killed some of them, many of them, thousands of them, because they would not accept your way. And then you buried them in an unmarked grave. That's why this ground bleeds with hate. Because you have not done what you are supposed to do. Look at the thousands of black bodies that you have killed over hundreds of years with no apparent reason. With no reason. The thousands of bodies that you have thrown by the wayside. I don't know if there's land here in America left where there is no remnants of you killing black people. You made it a hobby. You go to church on Sunday, and then you get out of church and you go to a community hanging of a black person. And you thought that was fine. And you'd have your children there, your grandchildren there, and you want to take a picture of the burnt up black corpse that you just murdered. That's what you did. You need to ask for forgiveness of that kind of shit. Don't think I'm going to go around and ask for forgiveness for not liking certain white people, because I'm not. All I ask is that you understand what you have done to our people and that you acknowledge it publicly. You can acknowledge it in your mind all you want. When the Bible tells you to confess your sins audibly, your sins of atrocities against black people need to be confessed audibly, from the president on down, from the past presidents on down. Every president that's alive should come out and say what they haven't done for the black American or the black people in America. Even when black people go to prison, they still trying to break you. The officers are now indicted for beating up a black man in prison because he wouldn't succumb to the bullshit that they try to make him have. And I know you already know Fauci is retiring, so I ain't gonna talk nothing about that. There was a basketball team from the South Side. You know, the little girl was beating this team ass. Who was they playing? I forgot who they played, but the black team from the Southeast Side High School was beating a team with predominantly white players. And so when the black girl went to the free throw line, and these high school students, the crowd started making gorilla sounds. And that's right here in Texas. The crowd started making gorilla sounds in high school. Now see, it wouldn't pay for me to be a referee during a game like that, because that would be the end of the story. I run that'll be a forfeit right there. I run their ass up out of there and give that team the win and call it a day, because that shit is uncalled for you to harass kids out there being all they can be. And that's what happened. There are 114,000 students that are homeless here in Texas, in just the state of Texas. 114,000 students that are homeless. Now, that doesn't mean college students. I'm talking about high school students. There are a lot of high school students sleeping under the bridge. There was a black FedEx driver in, I believe it was Vicksburg. These two white men, Greg and Brandon Case, tried to chase him down and get him arrested. But now they're facing attempted murder charges for doing that black FedEx driver like that. The last thing I'm going to talk about is respiratory illnesses. Now, COVID is not going away. COVID is still here. All these other respiratory diseases are still here. There's a thing called RSV going around. And that RSV stuff is respiratory something for toddlers. And now there's a shortage of beds for toddlers right now in many hospitals. And it's just another form of COVID. If you happen to see a toddler who's having shortness of breath, panting, trying to get air, then I think you should rush that child to the hospital, because right now you're working on somebody coming down with COVID. Winter is upon us, and I highly recommend that you pay attention and start wearing your mask anytime you're outside the household or anytime you're in an unventilated area with strangers that are not in your household. Start wearing your mask because COVID ain't gone or COVID ain't over. Our hospitals are at capacity. The Union Pacific Railroad are looking at going on strike, and hopefully they don't, because that'll be another big crisis, no different from COVID. I want to say grand rising and grand setting to my brothers and sisters here from the desk of the emissary of the Black News Network, the real voice of Black United States of America. We broadcast the news from a state or from a local, state, and federal level. I do not own the rights to the music, but I do own the rights to what I say. With that, I want to show you one last thing. And this is what I've seen lately on television. This is